Good morning. Welcome to the Dryland Dudes YouTube channel. My name's Emery. Today is October 13th, and that sun is killing me driving into that. But I need to stop here. I'm gonna check some cotton. I think it's gonna be time to do some spraying. That's what I'm thinking. So what I want to do is, and by spraying I mean defoliating, is, some of this stuff, I'm gonna take this top bowl off of some of these plants and cut them open without cutting myself is the goal. If it cuts harder, that's a good sign that it's lint and not gummy. So I'm looking for in these seeds that there's a dark ring around, and those are mostly dark. There's that one's not as dark as some I've seen. So that's a pretty small bowl. Is it going to make anyways? I don't know. Some of these, they're so little, probably not going to do anything anyway. But let me get to some spots where it's not as open as much. So I got to decide. It's not going to rain. If it's not going to rain, that's not what I'm looking. If it's not going to freeze, sorry. Rain's not going to do anything for the cotton at the moment. But if it's not going to freeze anytime soon, which it doesn't appear that it is, I'll be waiting a long time for it to freeze to kill the plant and to defoliate, which is the free option. This is about a $6 shot or so to defoliate this, and then you got to come back, probably got to come back again and do a kill shot to finish off the few leaves. But it's starting to drop these leaves on its own, which is great. So who knows, maybe a defoliation pass might get it. But let me go to a spot where this has got more green bowls here at the top and something that's bigger. So pick a bowl at the top. It's hard, which is a good sign. See, I'm looking for a dark ring around these seeds. If it's got a dark ring, then it's mature and it should open up on its own. So I think that probably defoliation would probably be appropriately timed for here and maybe everywhere. Didn't mean to take both of those, but I did. Sure, cotton does not cut very easy. Okay, that's a lot better. That's what I wanted to see more. So maybe that's what I'd want to see more. So that was good for me to see darker. So maybe this is not, maybe some of this is not quite ready. I don't know. That's where this is the stinker of the deal. If I spray though, it's about 2 weeks until the cotton's actually ready to strip. You want to spray this and for the leaves to die and to drop off and not get frozen on there. If you hit it too hard of a chemical, too heavy, too hot, you can freeze those the leaves. You can freeze the bowls shut, which you don't want. You want to spray that ethifon to let those bowls open and dry naturally. So it's kind of a long process, 7 to 10 days for that, and then another shot after that, and then about 2 weeks it's ready to strip. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep checking the other farms and see, but it's definitely changing a whole heck of a lot. Well, I sent a picture to Samuel. What I don't want is, although these bowls aren't great and big, but there's cotton in there, and so if some of these are marginal here at the top, well, I want them to open because that's better. But you look, there's just a lot more. There's green bowls still quite a bit on all this. Again, some are real little, I know, but other places they're not. Like this is starting to crack. That's great. And some of that cotton is going to look bad, like some of that. I get it. but you get paid on the cotton. So I like to make as much of it as I can. So wait and see what he says. But yeah, I definitely don't want these to not open. That would be a big loss if all those green ones don't open and I'm able to harvest it, because I think a lot of that's going to be stuff that I'd get into the basket. All right, next field. Definitely not near as much open here. I don't really know why, if it's as good, but not much open. It doesn't appear to be as, I don't know, there's quite a few green, but they're smaller. So let's just pick one and see. Just heard back from Samuel. He said the one I cut and I sent him had some color. That cuts real easy. Okay, this is a good example of a not ready one. So there's still some of this jelly in the middle, like it's not fully developed, and there's no color around the seed coat. So this one, not a mature bowl. So I'm thinking this is probably not ready overall yet. That makes sense because it's not near as open, but there's quite a few green bowls. But he said need to have some color in the seed coat, starting to get color, and there's no gooey. Yeah, I can just tell if these bowls are cutting a lot easier too, which means those fibers aren't fully ready. So yeah, you see that there in the middle? That seed hasn't finished out, and the outside circle around these seeds, not ready. So this field, not ready. That's what I expected based on just from the road. From the road is can be misleading, but I'm glad to see that. I think this field's pretty consistent. I think that field's pretty consistent. It had less rain, I believe, as I remember. That got a little bit drier. It gets drier on that farm anyways compared to this. Excuse me. It gets drier over there. So that one may be ready. This one, not yet. All right, here to the next farm. I think, man, some of that just not good, just got burned up. I think this probably is not ready as well, just looking at what I see. But then again, it may not be much great cotton out here anyways. So let's find this one feels soft. So that's definitely not ready, but it's a small bowl. Is it worth waiting around longer for those? Find a little bit better one at the top. Cuts a little bit more like it is. So that's ready. I don't know what to do. That one's close. Maybe not quite, but it's close. I think I'd like to see this open up a little more first. I think it's only my it's only a decision I have to make that affects the most money I make in a year, you know. No big deal. I would tend to say wait on those last two farms, but could go ahead on that other. Let's keep going, keep checking. No big deal, just crawled through barbed wire by myself. Okay, here I am. This is Bob's field. I'm here in the spot where the cotton's the biggest and the cotton's the best. You can tell there's just a lot more cotton here, bigger plants. But I want to get out here rocky hill. That's cool. I would like to get out here and see if I can figure out where I sprayed. Okay, I think there's a path. I think a tire track maybe drove here. The way it kind of looks. I want to get out here where I sprayed that Pix to see if I can tell a difference, one, and two, if there's any more, any different look in the bowls out here. So I got to get at least 2 passes out. This stuff is, at least here, is open to the top. There's just not many green bowls that aren't open. Like there's a little one, but most of this is open. Let's see what we find. Why did it do it? Why is it more open? I don't know. The weather. Is it because I sprayed the growth regulator? I don't know that either. I'm still learning. That is good. What I'm seeing is this looks ready. There's not much left. And what's here seems to be ready. See that dark line around? There's nothing gooey in the inside. But sure, ready, will open. So I'm gonna go down a little further, I guess, because this is where I sprayed the growth regulator. So I'm curious to see where I didn't spray, and then down the hill what it looks like. So I'm gonna move down a little bit and see what I find. Okay, see that bottle on the fence? Did I show you that? That's my marker. So this row, this pair right here, now all the ends have been sprayed, but this side, once I get up here, I sprayed with Pix. That side I did not. So see if we can tell the difference side by side. All right, so here's the split. Sprayed, not sprayed. Can you tell a visual difference? I don't think I can. I see more white up that way. That also just could be the direction, because I'm looking kind of up the hill and seeing more of the canopy above than here, looking down on it. I don't know. I didn't use that many ounces of that stuff for it to make a difference, but like, just, I don't know. Let's just find some bowls and cut them. That looks ready. Jump over here to stuff that I know is sprayed different. That's ready. There's quite a few green bowls still in here. There's some of them are small. Ooh, I almost got myself. That one's ready. So I'm seeing, like here, now it's like I can tell a difference, but again, it's just a low spot. Like there's not as much white in here as there is right over there, but again, is that just a low spot? The thing that makes me a little nervous about some of these, like these lower spots, is the bowls are all mature, based on I can tell. but not 60% of those plants' bowls are open, which is kind of what I hear is kind of what you're also looking for. So, but like in this area, I'd say, you know, up there, there's 60% open. Here, I think that's good, because some of these are probably not going to do much, if anything, anyways. Like that's not going to make it. So I don't want to jeopardize those, because this is all ready, but those bowls are all ready, but the plants still look green and they're not open that much. So I get paid the big bucks, I guess. Well, I'm back from town. I had to get some gas and get some things, and some of the things are groceries, and then also some antifreeze concentrate, no water added. I needed 12 gallons because I'm gonna get that tire changed, that rim changed on that cotton stripper, and put calcium. I think it's calcium chloride, the stuff that was in there, and it's super corrosive. This is less corrosive over time, but I thought I'll just go ahead and put some fluid back in there. The tire shop recommended 12 gallons of antifreeze, so that's what I got. Holy moly, wasp! So I got 12 gallons of antifreeze, and so I'm going to put that in. Hopefully, Dad's going to come over here in a second, and we're going to try to measure where that hole needs to be. I've told you to be able to access the final drive plug. That's really a two-person job, trying to get that hole lined up perfectly where the plug is, so then we can measure where it needs to be in relation to this new rim, and then maybe we can get that hole drilled. Then I can get those guys called to come out here and get that changed. When they get it changed, hopefully we can get that tire off and go clean it out some with some water and soap, possibly. I was gonna get some dish soap, I forgot. But hopefully we can get that cleaned out and then put this stuff back in. Okay, not sure if this rim, or this plate they welded. The way I understand it is this is a Titan rim, and the company I bought it for, I guess, welded this plate in to make this combination that we needed. And so I'm not sure if it's centered in the weld, so I'm gonna try to figure that out. So right at 11 inches from the edge of the rim to the plate. Not the same. 10 1/8. I'm measuring right at or almost 11. Just over 10. So about an inch difference is what I'm figuring. Well, back from lunch, and it's kind of raining, at least sprinkling. I'll take it. It's cooler. I've been trying to kind of decide and make a plan for defoliating today. I decided to go ahead and drive over here to Old Glory. Just talking with different farmers about different options. Talking with a guy that's more local to me. There's been cotton that's been defoliated. It's either been planted in April or May, and I didn't plant anything until June, middle June, right around the second week of June. And so he has stuff that's planted around the same time mine in the same area, and he hasn't sprayed yet either. So that makes me feel better, but we're thinking about it. So I'm over here at Old Glory. Just wanted to see, there's not as much cotton here in general, but just wanted to see what it looked like as far as bowls that are left, and are those worth waiting on? I don't know. This just may be what it is, because there's not a ton left, at least where it's white. That's what I'm thinking. Where it's white, it may look like this, where there's just a few bowls that might finish. I don't know, they're little, but those might be worth getting, but they may be mature enough. But over, what did I see? The north side and this west side are more like this, and then the south, the whole south end looks more green. And part of that's because it got more grasshopper damage And so I know that's part of it. It may be a leafier plant. There may just be less cotton on there in general, open or unopened. So it may not matter, but this is a kind of stinker. It's like, there's cotton out here. We're going to strip it, but to spend the money, $6, $6, $7, $8 to defoliate it, it's not that much money, but it's still, it all adds up, you know, to the whole year of inputs. And then cotton's worth what it's worth. So I don't know. It's nice to see some rain though. Okay, I'm here on the south end now. County did a good job building this berm back up. It broke there and other places, but they did awesome. I need to clean this side. I just don't know. Maybe I'll get to it at some point. Okay, so it's not as white here and over there, and it's still trying to bloom in some spots. Why is that? I don't know. It's just part of it. But like, that's not gonna make. That's not gonna make either. But I'm just curious, is there just less cotton here in general? And that kind of seems to be the case. Then there's that. That seems squishy. Let's cut it. But I don't think this is a consensus across the field, but there's... Well, it's not rotten, but it's not mature. See all that? Gummy, and there's no lime. So that would make, so if there's more like that, which maybe there's more than as I get further into the field. It's a spottier stand here, one because grasshoppers, and two maybe just because it's just, I mean, it's not going to be great over here, part of it. So probably should wait a little bit more still on this. Down there, maybe ready. Down here, not ready. Well, I left the camera somewhere and I just found it. You know, apologies. Can't be perfect all the time. But I got to the barn and we got that hole drilled. That worked out. Sorry. Oh, that probably would have been cool to show you. It was fine. I had to control the skid steer and keep it level. And Dad did the drilling, and we had to kind of get creative because the kind of the throat of the rim was tall, but the hole to drill was low, and we had to kind of snake it in there and start with a smaller bit and get to a bigger bit and get creative. And anyways, got it done. It is ready to go. I called the tire company, and they're going to try to come tomorrow afternoon, which is perfect. Try to get that put on. And it kind of rained a little bit more while we were there, so it's a little bit muddy and sticky right now, but tomorrow it ought to be perfect. I can't do it in the morning because I have to go to Ag Day, or Ag in the Classroom. I'm on the Farm Bureau board here in our county, and we do a day each year for, I think it's 4th graders, and just kind of show them about agriculture. There'll be some equipment, there'll be a drone spraying presentation at the end, just different things about agriculture that Farm Bureau supports and promotes for our kids in our area. So I'm not teaching or doing anything, but I am on the board, so I will be there doing something productive, I'm sure. So tomorrow afternoon, we're gonna get that tire and that rim changed and cleaned and put on, and then that is one less thing to get done, and move on to the next thing to get done. So keep following along and see what I decide about defoliating or not defoliating, or probably when to defoliate, what to spray, what chemicals, where to spray first, and then getting the cotton strippers ready, because it is cotton harvest is approaching. It's coming quick. Some people have already done it. We'll be there not too far behind. So keep following along and appreciate the support. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're going to farm,